Well, thank you for coming on the red carpet round table.
Oh, of course. Even though
Can
I'm not on carpet at the moment, on tile.
Right.
But hey, it's a vibe. Red carpet's a vibe. Doesn't necessarily mean physical red carpet.
Yes, sir. Can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Let's see. Well, okay, Randy Martinez. I like to call myself an artist because I do everything. I do all kinds of stuff. My career has mostly been visual, graphics, special effects, that kind of stuff. But originally, I started as a musician, composer, guitarist. I was just like a musical madman. I had all kinds of guitars and just like, yeah, I had so many musical instruments. It was just, yeah, crazy. And then, but I always had graphics. That was always like my thing was doing computer graphics and special effects. And then I got the money from that and built a recording studio because I was going to live my dream and do an album. And I'm still working on the album all these years later. But I still dabble in music and all that. But I like to call myself an artist. But I've worked on movies, television. I've done a lot of stuff. I just try to stay flexible and be creative any way I can. Now I'm trying to get into writing and directing. So yeah, I just like to have fun, and hopefully the money comes with it.
Hey,
Yeah,
man, that's what we all
yeah,
want. We want the money to come with it. And
yeah.
what made you decide to get into this industry? I mean, it's fun and it's challenging.
Well, actually, I was kind of born into it. My dad was an editor. He still kind of edits, but he's kind of retired. But yeah, he at the time he was an editor for NBC when I was very young, and then we actually had an edit system in our living room. Our living room had an edit system, and this was like the old days, like tapes, tapes and tapes, and it was like really, and that's kind of like how I grew up, just around it. And then he started Blue Water Post Productions. He went out on his own. We had big clients like Universal, Warner Brothers, Disney. We had some big clients. Most of the work was doing movie trailers. He edited a lot of movie trailers. And, when I was in high school, I just wanted to be a musician, really. I just wanted to be a musician. I took a lot of I did take art classes, junior highs, but when I got into high school, it was all music. I wanted to be a guitarist. I wanted to be a composer. I wanted to be the next Danny Elfman. Um, and then I graduated. I'm like, I'm going to travel with my band. We're going to be awesome. And then like that wore off after about a month. And I'm like, I got to get a real job. So then I ended up starting working for my dad in the vault. And then that's kind of like how I just kind of got my foot in the door. Was I worked there for a couple of years, and then I went over to Univision. Then I went to NBC, and then I worked on Passions, the soap opera, for a while. For media company, I worked on TV shows there. I just kind of started jumping around. The biggest jobs that I had was NBC. I was there about 11 years. And then I went over to CBS. That was my most recent job. I worked on The Talk. So, and then you see the sign back there. It got canceled in December. So, yeah, it was a free for all. We were taking signs. We were taking chair. I actually have all the talk tables, the actual physical tables that yeah, I got them. So yeah, we were taking all kinds of stuff. So actually, I'm working on a new podcast now, and I put the sign up just kind of like as an homage. I'm going to do a lot more decorations, but that's just one of the pieces that I'm going to put is that. But yeah, the talk was my most recent job, unless you count the movie that I'm working on, which is kind of an ongoing thing. The talk being canceled is kind of like slowed down production on that.
Mm-hmm.
I have
Mm-hmm.
about 11 days worth of filming. So it's kind of like a juggling thing until I can find another show to work on. I'm trying to stretch the budget because the movie is completely, financed by me. I have no investors. I'm doing the entire thing. And a lot of people are like, why are you financing the whole thing yourself? Go to Kickstarter, get investors. It's like, I'm not that kind of guy. I can't go. I don't know rich friends. I don't have this and that. And as far as Kickstarter, for 10 years we did a radio show. Me and my buddy Lou and Anna Vergara was on too, and we would get directors that would come on and pitch their stuff because they wanted the audience to kind of contribute to their Kickstarters or GoFundMe and all that for their projects. And they would come on, they'd put their heart out there. I want to do this project. They have concept art, this and that, blah, blah. And then like I would check in like a week later and they would like maybe like $30. It was like so heartbreaking. I felt bad for them because they would come out and put their art out there, their heart and soul, trying to get money for their project, their dream, and they get $30. So I didn't want that to happen to me, where I go, I have this movie idea, I'm going to do the, this and that. Please give me money, and then nobody gives. That would destroy me. So I decided to just, I had a job at the time when I started it, so I just went ahead and said I'm just going to self finance it, and what happens happens. Yeah.
Amazing. And you worked in CBS and NBC. Exciting moment.
Yeah, I
And
actually did get a Emmy nomination for visual effect, graphics and visual effects. The last 5 seasons or so, I actually designed the opening title sequence. So whenever the show started, that whole thing that I built all of that. So Cinema 4D, After Effects, I did all of that. And then I did a lot of other show graphics during the show and all that. But primarily I started doing that, and that really I was surprised to get the nomination, but we actually lost to a YouTube video, which was like really weird. It's like, how's YouTube even this in the same category? Anyhow, yeah, another thing. But it was fun. It was good while it lasted. I was hoping it would go, another 3-4 years, but CBS just, so that's like when Stephen Colbert got canceled, everyone's like boycotting. Oh, how dare you cancel Stephen Colbert? It's like, hey, what about us? They canceled us first. So so yeah.
it's a bummer. It's a bummer. But
Yeah.
congratulations on being Emmy nominated.
Oh, thanks. It would be nice to have a trophy though. That's what I want. I want the trophy because my dad won one in the 70s. So I'm kind of in his shadow. I got to get one for myself. Ugh. So that's where I'm at. Now, of course, in the 70s, it was a lot easier because there was a lot less networks. So there was a lot less
Right. And
competition.
now there's more
Oh
networks
yeah,
out
now
there.
there's so much. Yeah, you're now competing with Disney Plus, Hulu. You're everything, all kinds of stuff. And then apparently I lost to YouTube. So yeah, a lot harder to win, but at least I got a nomination.
Yes, that what counts.
Yeah.
At least you got your name noticeable in the entertainment industry world. And you know, um, it's fun being in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, when you can find work, it is. Even when my movie's kind of not, it's kind of I'm doing a lot of pre-production, so it's not like it's we're not really filming at the moment, but I'm doing a lot of pre-production because I have some big stunt sequences, a lot of just visual effects stuff coming up. So now I'm taking the time to actually do a lot of storyboards and just kind of working on the script and this and that. But at the same time, I'm helping a buddy of mine with his movie. So it's kind of nice because I could still be in production doing stuff because I think being on a set is really exciting. I mean, it's when I was little, you probably don't remember this, but my dad worked on a show called Benji, the little dog, and it was
Hmm.
an adventure. I don't even know what year it was, but when I must have been like 5 years old or something like that, and I actually got to go to set and watch them make Benji, this dog TV show, and it was just exciting. And then when he opened his own studio, we had a stage, so then they would do music video shoots and just little things like that. We actually did some of the stuff for The Emperor's New Groove and Hercules for Disney, which was kind of interesting because they did all the rotoscoping there. So what they would do is they would bring in these giant boards with tape that made a grid, and the actors would do all the movements in front of it while they filmed it, and then the animators would trace it and then actually do the finished drawing and the coloring. So they did all the live action stuff on our set, which was actually kind of pretty cool. I mean, I was, I don't know how old I was at the time, 17, 18, but it was really cool. Like, oh, look at that. That's really neat. You know.
Wow, it's kind of remind me of Mr. Rogers.
Oh yeah, I love Mr. Rogers. Yeah. I grew up watching Mr. Rogers. Of course, towards the tail end. But yeah, it was that was the land of make believe. All that, yeah, that was fun. The little train. Yeah, it was fun. Mr. Rogers. Can we clone him? We need another one. We need a new Mr. Rogers. Hmm.
Hey, maybe you can come up with idea.
Yeah. Hey, I'll do it. I'll wear a cardigan and just take my change my shoes every episode, feed the fish. I mean, yeah, all that. Totally.
Yeah, I loved it. It was it's and for yourself, what's your next big project?
Well, after I finish, I got to finish the film. Hopefully, we'll be done filming by the end of the year. That's knocking on wood. After that, I mean, I've been helping my buddy with all his stuff, and we have some other things going. But my own personal project after that, I have a comedy that I wrote, and I wrote and registered it with the DGA, WGA. Um, just got to kind of cast it, and this is a lower budget, so this will be a lot easier to get done. So yeah, it's comedy, which I do love comedy. My movie that I'm working on now is more action drama. It's not really, it has some funny moments in it, but it's not really comedy. This other one's just straight comedy. And then after that, I have a more of a suspense project that I'm actually writing. And then actually after that, I've started a new script because everyone's jumping on the superhero genre. I thought, hey, I should get in on this. And then my buddy's movie, that's a superhero movie. So then I thought, I should write my own superhero movie. Maybe it could be kind of a spin-off kind of thing. So I started writing that a couple of weeks ago. So I'm excited about that one too.
And when is it going to be released?
The movie now, the
Yes.
movie now is called California Coyote. It was supposed to be released like a year ago, but unfortunately, with the writer's strike, that delayed everything. And then we came back for a couple months, and then they wrapped us early last season. So we had an extremely long summer hiatus, and then we came back for only 3 months, and then we were canceled. So it was like we've been slow. It really slowed down production because that's like when you're self-financing it, you're kind of like watching the bills, you're watching money come in as it goes out, and it's a whole thing. So hopefully, knock on wood, I could have it ready by next summer. I already started editing it, started doing, some of the audio, I started to brainstorm the score because I'm going to write the score, and then I'm going to do the visual effects and color correction. It's a one-man band here. It's only it keeps the budget down, but I haven't found like a composer that I trust with this. I haven't found an editor that I trust. So it's one of those things that you want it done right, you got to do it yourself. So yeah,
Right.
hopefully next summer I can have it done. That's the plan.
Well, hopefully so. And you got to
Yeah.
keep me updated.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I'll be sent out an invite to the premiere.
Yeah, please do. And as yourself, now you're going to step into being a podcast. And
Yeah. As I mentioned earlier, me and my buddy Lou Pizarro, the Repo Man, we did a radio show for 10 years, almost just under 10 years, a months short of 10 years. But towards the later years, I decided to do video because he would get all kinds of great guests to come on. We were getting ready to do a show. It was pre-taped. It wasn't live. And all of a sudden, Dee Wallace came in, and we're like, that's Dee Wallace. That she was in E.T., she was in Cujo, she was in The Fright. I mean, this is like a big name. We're like, wow. Another time, Rico Ross from Aliens came in. We're like, what?
wow.
Yeah, Andy Dick showed up. All these people, and I'm like,
Hmm.
we gotta video this. So I went and bought a switcher. Started buying. Originally, we used little GoPros, and then as the years went on, I got a better camera, got Blackmagic Studio cameras, and it just upgraded here and there, and really kind of made it more like a Howard Stern type thing with the light board, very dark, and very with the headphones and the mics, and yeah, we did about 2 years worth of shows for podcasting, which they're on YouTube. You can look up Repo Radio if you want to look at them. But I was mostly producing, and I did do some like comedy segments. But this new one, I'm going to be hosting and writing and doing. I'll be doing the whole thing. So it's gonna be interesting. So that's the set that I'm working on now. Um, yeah, hopefully I can start recording in maybe a month or so.
And
Just
where can people listen to it?
it'll most likely start on YouTube. Yeah,
Okay.
unless I can find someone to carry it a little bit better. I don't know. We'll see. But I'll make a couple episodes, put them on YouTube, see how they do. Unfortunately, this is my home studio. This I had a bar that I built for the movie, so kind of put it on delay because I literally had a bar in here. Like I built a full bar, and now that that's done, the bar broke it down,
Hmm.
took it out. Now bringing on all the podcast stuff, new couch, new table, new
Right.
lighting. Doing it's a lot of work, but it'll be worth it. when we did do the radio show, it was a lot of fun. It
That's
was a lot of
amazing.
fun. And then for the podcast, I really I want to have an audience. So I have two rows of seats that the talk was getting rid of all their seats. So I grabbed two rows. So I'm going to bring them in here and I'm going to try to get people to kind of sit in because jokes always land better when you have an audience. I've done shows where there's like hardly anybody in the room and the jokes just don't land. But when you have more people, it's just a better vibe. And yeah, so that's the
Hmm.
plan. Is I'll have a podcast with an actual audience. So yeah, and it'll be a little bit more talk show format. So we ditched the headphones, ditched the condenser mics. It's going to be live at a desk with a couch. Audience going to be more like a Tonight Show kind of thing. I want to do a monologue, so I got to get up on my joke writing.
Right, you
So
have the same vision as me.
oh yeah, well hey, great minds think alike.
Yeah, to have my own. I also want to have my own talk show,
Oh
and
yeah,
just like Oprah Winfrey.
yeah. Oh wait, you can give away cars. Sure, you get a car. You get a car. You get a car. You get a.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give out chocolate if some I can
Yeah.
afford. You get a Snickers. You get a Snickers.
Yeah, that's my dream to have my own,
Hey,
Um,
do it. You know.
and also it's the people you know too, the
Oh yeah,
connection.
definitely. It's yeah. Um, yeah, pretty much every job I've ever gotten is because I knew somebody there. And it's just getting your foot in the door. That's like a huge thing. So same thing with like with same thing with television. Like my buddy, he can get meetings with a lot of people, whereas I
Hmm.
don't really know nobody knows me as a writer, director, or podcast host or whatever. So it's hard for me to get in the door. So the idea is to make some episodes that are so good that they'll get shared and people will hear more about it. And because I want to take the podcast to the next level. I want to do some crazy comedy bits and crazy stuff. So yeah, it's called the Mad Room. I don't know if it's backwards on Zoom, uh, but yeah, I want to do a lot of comedy bits, a lot of also kind of games with the guests. So I've been talking to a couple people about coming on, and they've agreed. So I'm excited about that. So the first guest is supposed to be the woman from Pulp Fiction, the cab driver. She said she would do it. So hopefully, knock on wood, she's
Hopefully she
still
comes
available
on.
because I have questions. Because like
Hopefully.
I ask a lot of the odd, interesting questions.
Yeah, hey, you never
Um,
know, out of the blue, if you ever ask me, I might come.
oh, hey, there you go. Yeah, and I'll but like when we had Dee Wallace on,
I shouldn't say might. I'll definitely show up. Just
okay,
give me a couple advance and then let me work my schedule out. But I'm being honest with you, if anybody asked me to be on their podcast, in person or on Zoom or whatever, I would love to.
oh yeah,
It,
yeah,
it's supporting you and you're supporting me and we're supporting each other
hmm
in this entertainment industry. It's about
yeah,
support. It's about family. We're a
hmm
family and we have to.
oh yeah, yeah. Now I
So,
also, I want to not only because a lot of people are like, oh, you're just going to get actors. I'm like, no, I want to get composers. I want to get, writers, camera people. I want to, and I want to bring them in and ask, like I would love to talk to a writer and say like the simplest things, like how do you come up with a character's name? How do you come up with it? How do do you decide whether to use a fictional town, real town? What, in this movie, why did you choose this? Why did you choose, I'm always like really particular about questions instead of just like, oh, who are
same
your
as me.
influences? Blah, blah. I like to get a little bit more in
Right.
depth and really ask like, what's
Hmm.
your process on how you do something as far as a musician? Do you start with lyrics? Do you start with melody? Do you start with a drum beat? Do you start? I want to know all these little things about how they do their art.
Right.
So
I totally agree with you. I'm on
yeah.
board with you. I like your ideas. We both have the same mindset of what questions we want to ask. How
Oh
do you
yeah.
do this? How do you do that? What comes up with that? Like, how did you write this story? What made you choose this character? You
Yeah,
know?
like right now, I want to know who your worst guest was. Who's the worst guest you ever had on your pod? I'm just kidding. I don't want to
Oh,
put you out there.
wow. That is to be honest, wow. You know, going back since 2018, 19 when I first started, that is a good question. No, I'm
Mm,
being serious.
I
No, no,
won't
no,
throw
no,
you
no,
under the
no, no,
bus.
no, no. No, because that is, it's kind of funny and kind of not because, it brings back memory.
Mm,
Because when I first started, I want to say the first guest was myself
yeah.
because I'm anybody out there who listened to me, who supported me, nobody has been a worse guest. I want to say it was me
Mm.
because I was so nervous.
Oh yeah.
I really was. So I'm glad you asked me that because when you say who was the worst guest, it's me, myself, myself. Because when I first started, I was so nervous
Mm,
because it's like, okay, you're thinking these questions, you're trying not to get so nervous, you're trying not to get your face so red, you're trying to stay focused, and you're telling yourself, okay, I'm hoping I'm doing a good job, hoping I'm doing a good job. So I
mm,
think the first couple episodes by myself, it was me. I was so nervous. I called myself out. If if
mm.
if you were interviewing me, you can say I was the worst guest because I was. I'm dead
That's a
serious
great answer.
because
That's
I was the worst guest for myself. I was. And
yeah.
sometimes I try not to look back into that time because I did that once. And I always
Hmm.
think, wow, that was me. That was me in
Yeah.
2018 or 19 doing this. So it's been a really, emotional roller coaster, and it shows the journey
Oh
and
yeah.
the testimony of not giving up. You go for your passion, you fight for your passion, you keep the courage, and you ignore the negative comments, but you always have the moment for like for myself, and maybe you have experienced this too. You always like, wow, should I quit doing this? Should I quit doing what I want to do? Should I keep doing this? Why should I do this? Why am I going, right? And again, I've never worked for like CBS or NBC like you have, but again,
Mhm.
it's like, why? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? And the further you keep going, you keep pushing yourself and do this, you kind of realize, oh, this is my passion. This is what I see myself doing, and I
Mhm.
can't quit because this is what I love. And also, I finally realized what I love about Instagram is we're a family. We're a family. We support each other. So that to be honest, I'm glad you asked that because it's me. It really
Yeah.
is, and it's I never thought that. I never nobody asked me that, and who was the worst guest, and and it's when I had to think about it, it was really me because I had to find a guest, right? It's me by myself
Always
running
it's
everything.
always hard in the beginning.
Yeah, and finding guests and then being nervous. And if I was just interviewing myself, it'd been 100% me.
Mm.
I it, it's it was, and it's a testimony coming from a journey here back then till now.
Yeah. Like for
So
my podcast, I did reach out to a couple other people, like, hey, are you interested in coming on this and that? And they're like, oh, where can I find it? I'm like, it's not done, it's not launched yet. So it's kind of like they don't want to commit to anything where they have no idea, you know. So I'm going to try to bring back some of the guests that did do Repo Radio. I'm going to try to, I talked to Chris Mulkey, an actor. He was in Rambo. He was in Twin Peaks. He was done with so a bunch of stuff. So he said he would do it. Carlos Gallardo, who is El Mariachi, he said he would do it if he's in town. So if I can get them back with the new format, I could then show it to potential guests.
yes.
Look how much fun they're going
Hmm.
to have. So
That's how we get our name out there.
yeah, yeah, because
You
like
know.
everybody who did watch the radio show, they had a lot of fun. They had a lot of fun
Hmm.
coming on, and it's attached to my
We
house. So
gotta
some
we gotta
people,
support each other.
yeah, they'd show up. They're like, "Oh, this is a house," and then when they come in the studio, like, "Oh, this is like an actual recording studio." I'm like, "Yeah, that's what it was built for. It was built from the ground up as a recording studio." So, and I'm very particular. I want it to look and sound and feel. I want it to be as good as it can.
Yeah,
I want the guests to
100%.
have fun. I want to have fun because if it's not fun, then why do it?
There you go. You just
Yeah.
said it. If we're not having fun, why do it?
Yeah. And then, like, as far as the movie, as you mentioned earlier, yeah, there were so many times where I was like, why did I do this? I'm in over my head. Why? Because I'm also producing it. I don't have a producer. I'm doing it. So you have to get the scripts, the storyboards. You have to organize lunch. You have to pay everybody. It's like a whole, you got to worry about lighting. You got to worry about grip. You got to worry about transportation. It's like a whole, there's so many things going on in your mind, and just keeping everyone on track and just, who's going to do the slate, who's going to do the audio, who's going to do, it's like there have been multiple days where I did
Mm-hmm.
camera and audio.
Yeah,
And I
100%.
would, like, at the end of the day, I'm like, what am I doing? What, how much money I've thrown into this. I'd be debt free if I didn't make this movie. I'd have all this stuff paid off if I didn't do this movie. But it's a passion of something that
Yeah, it's a
I
passion that
wrote the
you.
script really fast because it
Mm-hmm.
just came out. It was so good. There were a few little revisions, but the main
Right. It's a
body of the
passion
script
that
came out.
you, pardon me,
Yeah,
it's a passion that you love.
yeah. I love writing. I love writing. Love writing music, stories, whatever. Yeah, I love being creative. It's
I,
just it's
I,
just awesome.
we have the same mindset.
Yeah, it's a gift. Got to use it.
Right. And this is my gift as a host, and I
Mhm.
love what I'm doing. You have a gift. You love what you're doing. And and it all comes back to is what we love doing. If we don't love what we're doing, why continue?
Yeah, I also love eating pizza. So I'm going to continue doing it. Uh,
Hey, I love pizza. I try not to eat so much of it because
a lot of carbs.
it's unhealthy. I know I don't want
Yeah,
to say it out
grease,
loud, but it's
grease, yeah. Mhm.
it
I'll
is
follow it up with
it's
a salad.
you'd be like, it's off the topic. It's kind of like you had pizza one day, and then the family is like, "Ooh, we want pizza again," and you're thinking, "Pizza? We just had pizza the other day," and you're
Yeah,
like, "This is the last time
yeah.
we have to have
Last
this."
week I had pizza 3 days in a row.
Whew.
I had pizza, and then the next day we went out to Victorville to get some stuff done, and on our way back, we stopped at Pizza Factory. My buddy wanted to stop, and he's like, "Hey, let's just get the buffet," which was pizza. And then the next day, I was at a casting. I was helping a friend of mine cast their movie, and they got pizza for lunch. I'm like, "Oh, this is the third day I'm having pizza." So
You
yeah,
get so tired of it. You'd be
kind of
like,
pizza it out.
you'd be
Not a
like,
Ninja Turtle.
yeah,
you know.
it's amazing. It's amazing. Now I love your ideas and I love your passion. Um, you and I, we have the same ideas. The success, getting people know about us, and
Mhm.
you know, being in the entertainment industry, showing people what's hard about it and why we're doing this.
Oh yeah,
And
and then trial and error. You
yes.
keep doing it, and you find what works, what doesn't work. But
Hmm.
yeah. I mean, little things like before we used to just have a really basic audio board, but it would mixing became a problem. So I just went and got a compressor, boom, put it in. It did it all for me. Made it a little bit easier. And then later on, I'm going to get a teleprompter. Went, bought a teleprompter. That made things easier. So it's just whatever you find your groove and find little areas where you can improve, make it a little easier, a little faster, quicker. So yeah, originally when we started doing it, we would record all the cameras isolated. We had different files for every camera, and then you'd have to edit everything together. It took a long time. Then I got a switcher where we could just switch it, and then it's recorded, already done. And then you just fine tune little things here and there. It saved hours of work, and it's
Yes.
just trial and error.
Trial and error.
What can I
100%.
do? And luckily, a lot of the equipment is getting affordable. I
Yes.
mean, you can get a switcher now. I think the last time I checked, there were $295 for the Blackmagic, Mini. That's cheap. Back in the day,
Hmm.
you were spending tens of thousands of dollars for a switcher. Now you can little thing, HDMI, plug it in. You have your own television studio running with
Yeah,
GoPros or DSLR you have lying around. So easy.
it is 100%.
Oh
So
yeah,
easy. Yeah, I totally
technology's
agree.
there. It made it more accessible. Use it.
Yeah, everything's becoming cheap, so we might as well use it.
Yeah. Except AI. I
100%.
I don't want to do. I don't want to do AI because as a visual artist, it's kind of putting me out of work. Like, no, we don't
I
use
totally agree
AI.
with you. I'm not a big fan of the AI world. I'm not. So I
Yeah. Well, as far
100%.
as AI and visuals, I compare it to a drum machine. You ever see those stickers that say drum machines have no soul?
Yes.
It's totally, yeah. And like when I wrote music, a lot of people told me like, oh, just buy some loops. So you can buy a drum loop and you just loop it, and then you buy a bass loop and you just layer it on top, and then you
Hmm.
layer it, and it's like that's not creating music. You're just getting something somebody else made and you're just putting it together. That's what AI is doing. So when they say drum machines have no soul, I think AI has no soul because
Right.
there was no creativity put into it. It was just, an algorithm. They grab this from that, and oh, statistically it likes this and that, and it just mashes it together. And without anything, it's kind of like a river. It's kind of learning everything, but it learns just off itself. So there's no fresh ideas coming into it. It's like inbreeding. AI is inbreeding with computers. You want fresh DNA coming in. No, it's just studying the regurgitated garbage and then it's going to turn into fluff. It might be an unpopular opinion, but we'll see. 5 years,
No,
who knows
I
what
think
it'll.
you're right. 100%.
Yeah.
I totally
So
see
I'm
it.
old fashioned. I like doing it the old school way. And yeah, like when I
Old
wrote
school
songs.
way is the best.
Oh yeah. I did every when I did all my drum programming. I did it with a keyboard and MIDI and all that, but I did every single note. I didn't do any loops. I would sit there and play the drums on the little keyboard and and I throw in fills and I'm throwing all with a little keyboard because I wasn't good enough on an actual drum set. Um, but it made it more personal. And I would turn the optimizing off so it wasn't quite precise. It's those little
Right.
imperfections that make it realistic. And it might
Amazing.
just be because like when I was in high school, I did a lot of music and I was in the jazz band. And I remember we had a awesome guy, saxophone player came in, Buddy Collette came in. And this guy, he's like a legend. He played with Charlie Parker, he played with everything. And he was just observing our class and kind of giving us pointers. And he saw me playing and he's like, "Hey, you're a rock guy, right?" I'm like, "Oh, how can you tell?" He says, "Because you're trying to fill every measure with as many notes as possible." And I was like, "Yeah, I guess I am." He says, "Jazz is about holding back. It's not about just throwing stuff at the wall. It's about what," he says, "sometimes it's the note you don't play that'll make it jazz and will take it to the next level." And I was like, "Oh,
Hmm.
that's completely right." So the same thing kind of like in my art, sometimes you don't need you don't need this dialogue. You don't need too much exposition. Let the audience figure it out. Let them kind of interpret things. So that's. I start blabbing when I go on about that, but yeah.
No, no, it's okay. That's very good. I totally agree with you, 100%. And everything with technology and everything and all the stuff we're having to deal with, I love it. Except the AI part. But
Yeah, the problem I think is also the corporations are just getting greedy. They're getting greedy.
yes,
And they're like, "Oh, this will
100%.
save me money." And it's like
No,
kind of put a lot of us out of work in California at least, you know.
100%. Where can people find you?
Well, I'm usually at the corner selling myself. No, just kidding. You find me at the nearest taco truck. No, I mean I have an online presence. I do have Instagram. I don't know. I'm not really much on Facebook. Yeah, I just keep it for the marketplace because I can
Hmm.
find like used camera equipment or whatever cheap, dirt cheap. But Instagram is kind of the big ones. That's Stylatarium, Stylatarium. And everyone's like, what is that? I'm like, that's actually my old band name. So yeah, the word style and sanitarium put together because I had
Hmm.
a band that was like we played rock, we played metal, we played salsa, we played jazz, we played blues. I was like a lot of different styles, but I used a lot of minor keys, which kind of gave it kind of like a kind of a eerie kind of sound.
Right.
It was like a sanitarium of different styles, and it kind of became Stylatarium, and it just kind of a name that stuck. And I was trying to get it, get the bands named that, and they're like, no, So I kind of tried to just take it over, kind of like Slash or The Edge. I'm the Stylatarium, So, but that's my main Instagram. I do have California Coyote Film, which is updated here and there, has stills of the movie. And let's see there's not what else, what other social media is there? I guess I have a TikTok. I barely touch it. I don't even remember. It should still be up, probably Stylatarium. um yeah, mainly Instagram is the main thing, and then
And
YouTube.
do you have
youtube
an
I, I
IMDb page?
I do have an IMDb page. I'm Randy Martinez, but I think I'm number two. I don't know who
Okay.
number one is. I have no idea who that guy is, but I do have, yeah, I think I'm number two. If you go, and then that actually there's like a number four that somehow has different credits that I've done. So another producer put that on. I don't know. I got to figure out how to combine the two.
Yeah.
But I think it's number two. That whatever has the talk, California Coyote, that's my main one. And then I worked on a couple other things, the Repo movie, and produced a buddy of mine's film, and just here and there. Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, the one with the talk, that's the main one.
Right. Wow. You've done a lot of work and success, and your story tells you your testimony.
Yeah, hopefully. I know that one day it will pay off. I know it will. But it's just, yeah, sometimes you're like, oh, why did I do this? Why did I get into this? Oh,
Yes,
but yeah, it'll pay off.
one day it
Persistence.
will pay off. One
Yeah.
day
Mhm.
for both of us.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you can come on my podcast and tell me all about it.
Yes, I would love to come on your podcast anytime.
Oh, nice. Whew. Yeah, well,
That'd
I
be
got to finish building the set and then all that, and then I'll get the first guest going, and then I'll get, so yeah. After Ryan Reynolds come on, you can come on the next week. Where you get hot lead in. People be hot
Yes,
off, you need a good lead in. So
I do. I do. I would love to have Ryan Reynolds on my show.
I ran into, I kind of ran into him once and didn't know it. I was at Radford. I was working on the talk at the time, and I was walking just and down the road, and this was kind of like when Radford's pretty dead right now. All the production's gone, but so it was kind of a wide open, and I was just walking down the driveway, whatever corridor, and a guy was walking towards me, and I'm like, just we go and look at each other. He goes, "Hello." I'm like, "Oh, hey." And I'm thinking we passed each other. I'm like, that sounded like Ryan Reynolds, but he had a beard. He had a beard. He had glasses. He had a weird hat and like a weird jacket. I'm like, no, that can't be Ryan Reynolds. No, that's not Ryan Reynolds. And I turn on him, look, and I'm watching him walk away. Is that Ryan Reynolds? But I'm like, nah, it can't be him. But it was bugging me. So in my office, I'm like, let me look on Instagram. And looking at his Instagram, I'm like, I don't see that outfit. I don't see that he's posted. So I went to his tag photos, and John Krasinski had tagged him in a photo wearing the same outfit with the glasses and the beard. And I'm like, that was Ryan Reynolds. And this was right before the latest Deadpool came out, which I was like pumped about, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Wow.
I was like,
Wow.
man,
That's
I could
amazing.
have asked him. I could have invited him on my podcast. Who knows? We could have eaten
I would
ice
love to, my dream for myself is to interview a lot of A-list actors.
cream. Hey, you can. I've seen some of these YouTubers come up, and boom, they're going to the premieres. They're doing all that stuff. I think it's one of those things. Once you start getting them, it's easier to get them.
Yes.
So,
So,
but I think also
the one thing, you're right. Once we get him, we get him.
Yeah, but also getting if you can get somebody who can get the guests, that's a total, because like when we did the radio show, we did have a couple people that they were kind of like agents, and they had their actors, and they would bring them in. So if you can get one of those, that also helps too, because they'll send you, their top 8 people or whatever. So that's always good. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's a long struggle. I know.
it
I've been there.
is. Never know. We could help each other.
Yeah, no, definitely. If you want, I can like paint myself green and then I'll pretend like the Hulk or something and like, interview that.
Hey, you never know. But seriously, we really could help each other. That's what we do. We help each
Oh yeah,
other
yeah,
in the
yeah.
entertainment.
Especially, I mean, I assume you're Latino. I'm not really positive.
What was that?
I assume you're Latino.
No, I'm
Oh,
Japanese.
what? No, you're not. No way.
Yeah, I'm half Japanese.
Oh, half. Okay. Well, either way, minorities, we'll just say minorities, need to help each other because,
Amen.
like, yeah, I worked at Telemundo for a long time, and just seeing how the inner politics of that, it's like, come on, don't act that way. Let's help each other. Like they were always just backstabbing, and it was just, oh, it was a mess there. The kind of a toxic environment there, and I'm like, everybody, there's enough for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Help everybody. What's the harm in helping somebody do the, get to the next level? You should be cheering
Yeah,
when they do good.
100%.
Yeah, it's a lot of haters,
So,
which really sucks.
yeah, I totally agree with you.
Yeah, so we
But
got to
if
we
you
got to
know any actors that you can recommend me on my show, please let me know.
yeah, well, yeah, I'll have to brainstorm. I'll have to brainstorm that. Yeah, I know some sports figures, but that's kind of different. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, because
My buddy will probably do it because he's going to be promoting his movie soon. So I think
yes.
they're supposed to finish filming that in October.
Oh, I
So
can't
then,
wait.
yeah, and then he'll be. It's called the Comic Book Keeper Rooferman Chronicles. So
Oh,
it's a
wow. I
superhero movie.
definitely can't wait to see that.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, totally
His
can't wait.
his budget is a lot bigger than mine. So so when I help him with his movie, he's got like grips and all this stuff
Hmm.
walking around. Like, man, look at this big budget, and here I'm, struggling with my little movie.
Yeah, I definitely can't wait. So,
Yeah,
well, thank you very much for
oh, of
coming
course.
on.
Oh yeah, of course. Anytime. This is a lot of fun. I love talking. I love blabbing. I can go on
Yes,
forever.
and you know what we can do? I would love to have you back.
Oh, of course. Yeah, yeah,
Definitely was
definitely.
definitely stay in touch. I'll definitely follow you on Instagram. Let's
Oh
support
yeah,
each
the
other
grand.
and let's continue to support.
Yeah, and then hopefully when I get the podcast ready to launch, then I can, I'll have a little bit more tidbits about that and a little bit, more to talk about.
Yes, let's do that. And love to have you back and talk about your upcoming movies, the upcoming podcast, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, and hopefully by then I'll be Mr. Olympia. Oh,
Maybe,
okay.
maybe so.
I
Maybe.
need a gym membership for that. I don't. Yeah, I'm eating too much pizza. I got to cut back on the pizza. And
Yeah, if you eat too much pizza, you won't be like that.
no, definitely
No, no. Can't eat too much pizza.
not. I'll switch to pasta.
Pasta.
It's just as bad. Yeah, not
Mm, I mean,
good.
it's okay. I mean, it's I don't know what's worse, pizza or pasta. I want to say
Mhm.
both,
Yeah.
but I think
So this-
pizza's up here.
I'll switch
Pasta,
genres entirely. I'll go to tostadas. There we go. Tostadas. There's the round. There you go.
yeah,
Similar.
that'll work too.
Yeah.
Hey,
So now I want tacos.
tacos. Hey, taco is better too.
Yeah. Okay. Real quick. What's your favorite taco meat?
Ooh,
Ah.
I don't know. That's a good question. I'm sorry. That's another good question. I really don't know. Everybody be like, what? But I think, ooh, I really don't know. I've
Well, for
tried
me,
most of them.
I always ask, do you have tripas, which is intestines, fried intestines? Oh,
Okay.
they're like little tubes,
I don't
but
think I
when they're
had those.
crispy, oh, they're so good. Yeah. It's addicting. And also cow forehead, cabeza, those are excellent also. I know some of your
Okay.
viewers are probably like, yes, yes, or maybe some of them are like, ugh. But oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I have a favorite taco meat. And it's weird because I love tacos, but I really don't have a favorite.
You just love it all. Just bring
I
it
love it
all.
all. I
One
love
of
it all.
each.
I
Bring it
I
all.
know I don't I'm not a okay, I'm a fan of soft tacos, but I'm
Mm.
more a big fan of hard tacos.
Mm. Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, it depends. Yeah, if I'm buying them off the street, they got to be soft. But I do love the Del Taco, the Del Taco. Those are just good. Yeah,
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 100%.
yeah.
Those are
But if it's
100%
if
good.
it's like just a roach coach, got to be the soft tacos with it. Just like yeah, who knows what's in
Mm-hmm.
that. So good though.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah,
I totally agree with you.
of
So, 100%. Well, thank you again for coming on.
course.
That and we're definitely
Thanks
going
for
to stay
having
in
me.
touch. And like I said, if you know anybody, sports figure, actors, writers, famous actors, that you would like to recommend to me on my podcast, please let me know.
Yeah, of course, of course.
And I
Sounds
would
good.
love to have you back. So we'll stay in touch.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, my friend. I'll let you go and we'll talk soon.
All right. Bye, viewers.
Bye.
Yeah. Whew.